Building the perfect 1970s chopper. The frame. Hardtail conversion. A hardtail conversion removes the rear suspension and replaces it with rigid frame sections. During the 1970s, this was one of the most common ways to turn a regular motorcycle into a true custom chopper. It gave the bike a lower stance, a cleaner profile, and became closely linked with the stripped-down look popular after the custom bike boom of the late 1960s. Factory rigid frame. Some older motorcycles already came with rigid frames before rear suspension became standard. Builders often searched for these original frames because they delivered the authentic hardtail appearance without major fabrication. They also carried historical value, since they represented the earliest generation of American motorcycles. Weld-on hardtail. A weld-on hardtail replaces the rear section of an existing frame with new rigid tubing. This was a popular option because it allowed builders to keep their original frame while changing the motorcycle's shape. Good welding and proper alignment were essential to keep the bike safe and straight. Aftermarket hardtail frame. Companies began producing complete hardtail frames specifically for custom builders. These frames often accepted Harley-Davidson engines while offering cleaner lines and longer proportions. They became a popular foundation for people building choppers from scratch. The rake. Increased rake. Rake refers to the angle of the steering neck. Increasing that angle pushed the front wheel farther forward, creating the stretched appearance that became one of the defining features of 1970s choppers. The greater the rake, the longer the forks usually needed to be. Neck gussets. Neck gussets are reinforcing plates welded around the steering neck. They helped strengthen the frame after major rake modifications and reduce stress in one of the most heavily loaded areas of the motorcycle. Builders often shaped them to blend into the custom frame. Stretched backbone. Lengthening the upper tube of the frame created more space between the seat and the steering neck. This gave the motorcycle a longer, sleeker profile while allowing different tank styles to fit more naturally. Stretched down tubes. Longer down tubes extended the front section of the frame beneath the engine. Combined with a stretched backbone, they increased the overall wheelbase and emphasized the long, low look that became famous during the decade. Longer wheelbase. Extending the distance between the front and rear wheels completely changed the motorcycle's proportions. A longer wheelbase improved straight-line stability but also made low-speed turning slower. It became one of the visual trademarks of classic choppers. Smoothed welds. Builders often ground down visible welds to make the frame appear as though it had been formed from one continuous piece of steel. This extra work created a cleaner and more professional finish. Lead work. Before modern fillers became common, molten lead was used to smooth joints and imperfections on custom frames. It required considerable skill, but produced durable, seamless surfaces that many high-end builders preferred. Body filler. Polyester body filler became a quicker alternative for smoothing small imperfections after welding. Once sanded and painted, it helped create the smooth, custom appearance many builders wanted. Molded frame. A molded frame combines welded joints, smoothing, and finishing until individual frame sections appear almost invisible. The result is a flowing, sculpted frame that looks more like artwork than standard motorcycle construction. The forks. Extended forks. Extended forks became one of the most recognizable symbols of the 1970s choppers. Builders commonly added 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, or even 18 inches to the fork length, depending on the desired style. Longer forks dramatically changed both the appearance and the handling of the motorcycle. Hydraulic forks. Hydraulic telescopic forks remain the most common choice because they offered better comfort, easier maintenance, and wide availability. Most production motorcycles already use them, making them practical for custom builds. Springer forks. Springer forks use external springs and linkages instead of internal hydraulic damping. Their vintage appearance made them popular with builders looking for an old-school custom style inspired by early motorcycles. Girder forks. Girder forks use rigid triangular linkages connected by springs. Although less common by the 1970s, they remained a favorite among builders who wanted a distinctive pre-war look. Narrow glide. A narrow glide front end places the fork tubes closer together, giving the motorcycle a slimmer and lighter appearance. It became closely associated with lean, minimalist chopper builds. Wide glide. A wide glide front end spreads the fork tubes farther apart using wider triple trees. It creates a more muscular stance and allows the use of wider handlebars and front wheels. The wheels. 19-inch front wheel. The 19-inch wheel balanced appearance and handling, making it a common choice for riders who still wanted practical road manners while customizing their bikes. 21-inch front wheel. The tall 21-inch wheel became a defining visual element of many 1970s choppers. Combined with a skinny tire and long forks, it created the elegant stretched silhouette seen in countless custom motorcycles. Skinny tire. Narrow front and rear tires reduced visual bulk and emphasized the lightweight style that many custom builders preferred. Spoked wheel. Wire-spoked wheels remained the standard choice because they were lightweight, traditional, and visually complemented handcrafted custom motorcycles.
Drum brake. Drum brakes were still found on many older motorcycles and continued appearing on customs throughout the decade. They matched vintage styling even as newer braking technology emerged. Disc brake. Disc brakes gradually became more common during the 1970s, offering stronger and more consistent stopping power while finding their way onto custom chopper builds. No front brake. Some builders removed the front brake entirely to achieve an ultra-clean appearance. Although it simplified the front end visually, it greatly reduced braking performance and was mainly a styling choice. 16-inch rear wheel. The 16-inch rear wheel remained the traditional Harley-Davidson size and gave choppers a balanced stance with plenty of tire options available. 18-inch rear wheel. An 18-inch rear wheel slightly increased the bike's height and offered a slimmer, sportier appearance while remaining less common than the traditional 16-inch. The tank. Peanut tank. The peanut tank is small, narrow, and lightweight. Originally popularized on Sportsters, it became one of the most recognizable fuel tanks used on 1970s choppers because it highlighted the open frame design. Mustang tank. The Mustang tank is longer and slightly larger than a peanut tank, giving riders more fuel capacity while maintaining classic custom proportions. Sportster tank. Sportster tanks were commonly adapted onto custom builds because they were affordable, widely available, and naturally suited stripped-down motorcycles. Coffin tank. The coffin tank features long, flat sides and pointed ends inspired by the shape of a coffin. It became an iconic symbol of radical 1970s custom styling. Prism tank. Prism tanks use sharp geometric lines instead of rounded shapes, giving custom choppers a more aggressive, handcrafted appearance. Wassail tank. Originally produced in Britain, the Wassail tank became popular worldwide for its slim profile and excellent fit on stretched chopper frames. Frisco-mounted tank. A Frisco-mounted tank sits high on the backbone with its rear raised above the frame. This mounting style became a signature look of many California-built choppers during the decade.
The exhaust. Straight drag pipes. Straight drag pipes are simple exhaust tubes with almost no bends or muffling. They became one of the signature sounds of 1970s choppers, producing a loud, sharp exhaust note while emphasizing the stripped-down custom style. Their simplicity also made them easy for builders to fabricate. Shotgun pipes. Shotgun pipes run parallel along one side of the motorcycle, usually stacked one above the other. Their clean, balanced appearance made them popular on long choppers, and they gave the bike a distinctive profile, even when viewed from a distance. Upswept pipes. Upswept pipes angle upward toward the rear of the motorcycle instead of running level with the ground. This style added visual movement to the bike and complemented the stretched lines that defined many customs of the era. Fishtail pipes. Fishtail pipes feature flared exhaust tips that widen into a graceful tail shape. Inspired by classic American motorcycles from earlier decades, they brought a touch of elegance to otherwise aggressive custom builds. Custom fabricated exhausts. Many builders created one-of-a-kind exhaust systems by bending and welding tubing themselves. This allowed every motorcycle to have a unique appearance while matching the frame, engine, and overall design of the build. The fenders. Stock front fender. Some custom builders kept the original front fender for practicality, especially if the motorcycle was ridden regularly. Although less traumatic than other options, it still offered protection from water and road debris. Bobbed front fender. A bobbed front fender is shortened by cutting away part of the original metal. This simple modification exposed more of the front wheel while preserving some everyday function. No front fender. Removing the front fender entirely became one of the boldest styling choices of the 1970s. It revealed the full length of the extended forks and skinny front wheel, creating an unmistakable chopper silhouette. Bobbed rear fender. A bobbed rear fender is shortened behind the wheel to create a compact and cleaner rear end. It became a common modification on both bobbers and choppers. Narrowed rear fender. Narrowing the rear fender reduced its width to better match skinny rear tires. This created a more refined appearance and highlighted the motorcycle's slim proportions. Custom-shaped rear fender. Many builders reshaped rear fenders by hand, producing pointed, rounded, or sculpted designs that reflected their own artistic style and made every motorcycle different. The headlight. Bates headlight. The Bates headlight is a compact, round headlight that became one of the most recognizable accessories on custom choppers. Its small size suited minimalist builds while maintaining a classic appearance. Bullet headlight. The Bullet headlight has a longer, streamlined housing inspired by aircraft and automotive styling. It gave the front of the motorcycle a more aggressive and futuristic look. Round taillight. Round taillights remained a timeless choice because of their simple design and wide availability. They blended easily into almost any custom build. Bullet taillight. Bullet taillights echoed the shape of bullet headlights, creating a consistent styling theme from front to rear while keeping the lighting compact. Relocated turn signals.
Many builders moved their turn signals to less noticeable locations, helping the motorcycle maintain cleaner lines without removing essential lighting. Removed turn signals. Some choppers had their turn signals removed entirely to achieve the cleanest possible appearance. While visually striking, this often reduced practicality and could conflict with road regulations. The paint. Candy paint. Candy paint uses transparent colored layers over a reflective metallic base, producing remarkable depth and brightness. It became one of the defining paint finishes of the 1970s custom scene. Metal flake. Metal flake paint contains large reflective flakes that sparkle dramatically in sunlight. It was especially popular during the show bike era, where appearance was just as important as performance. Pearl paint. Pearl paint creates a softer glow by reflecting light through fine pearl pigments. It offered a more elegant alternative to the bold shine of metal flake finishes. Lace paint. Lace paint is created by spraying color through pieces of lace fabric, leaving delicate patterns beneath clear coats. Every design was slightly different, making every motorcycle unique. Airbrushed murals. Skilled artists covered gas tanks and fenders with detailed airbrushed scenes, portraits, and fantasy artwork. These murals transformed motorcycles into moving works of art. Pinstriping. Pinstriping uses thin, hand-painted lines to outline shapes and emphasize bodywork. A talented pinstriper could completely change the personality of a motorcycle with only a few carefully placed strokes. Flames. Flame graphics became one of the most recognizable custom paint themes. Whether realistic or highly stylized, they added movement and energy to the motorcycle's design. Eagles. Eagles symbolized freedom and American identity, making them a popular subject for custom artwork throughout the decade. Skulls. Skull artwork reflected rebellion and individuality, fitting naturally into the custom motorcycle culture of the 1970s. Psychedelic graphics. Psychedelic graphics combine swirling shapes, bold colors, and unusual patterns, inspired by the artistic trends of the late 1960s and early 1970s. Chrome parts. Chrome plating covered everything from frames and forks to handlebars, wheels, engine covers, oil tanks, and sissy bars. Bright polished metal reflected light from every angle and became a hallmark of high-end custom motorcycles. Engine cosmetics. Builders polished engine cases, installed finned rocker boxes, chrome timing covers, and ribbed accessories to make the engine itself part of the motorcycle's visual centerpiece. The air cleaner. Velocity stack. A velocity stack replaces the traditional air cleaner with an open trumpet-shaped intake. It increases airflow and gives the engine an aggressive racing appearance, although it offers little protection from dirt. Round chrome air cleaner. The round chrome air cleaner balanced classic styling with everyday practicality. Its polished finish matched the extensive chrome found across many custom builds. Moon air cleaner. The Moon air cleaner features a smooth, rounded cover inspired by hot rod culture. It became a favorite on shoppers because of its simple yet distinctive appearance. The finishing touches. Custom oil tank. Custom oil tanks came in round, horseshoe, cylindrical, and countless handmade shapes. Builders selected designs that best matched the frame, while turning a functional component into another styling feature. Battery relocation. Moving the battery beneath the transmission or into a hidden battery box cleaned up the frame and made the motorcycle appear lighter and less cluttered. Finishing touches. Small details such as braided cables, braided fuel lines, leather tool rolls, leather saddlebags, brass hardware, custom grips, tiny mirrors, side-mounted license plates, relocated horns, minimal gauges, and decorative valve caps completed the motorcycle and reflected the builder's personal style.